Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Immediately, Advaita Acharya introduced Raghunath to Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And at that time, just being the presence of Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by honoring his Mahaprasad, every day you would get Mahaprasad of Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And just being inspired by Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Raghunath Das Goswami became completely fixed. I have to join Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement. I have to be a full-time devotee of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement. When he came back, the only thing that he could think about, Raghunath, right? Barely in his teens, hardly 10 to 15 years old, right? Less than 15 years old. The only thing he could think about is how he can run away from home and join Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri. He knew that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in Jagannath Puri. The only thing that he could think about was how he can run away and join Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And several times he tried also. He tried running away from home to go with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But his father, right, because of his influence and all, right, immediately they would go, they would catch Raghunath Das Goswami and they would bring him back. So like that his life was going on. And what happened in this duration is, Raghunath cannot go on living like this. Cannot go on living like this. Please, make some arrangement. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave him very nice instruction. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told him, don't act like a madman. Don't act like this. Be a responsible householder. Execute your responsibilities very nicely. He said, don't be a bucket of agadi. It's a very important principle that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave. That externally, you should act like a regular person. Internally, you should cultivate the mood of devotional service. Don't be a bucket of agadi. What Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was saying is, bucket is monkey. Right? Bucket of agadi, what is the bucket of a monkey? Externally, he wants to show he is very denounced, right? Constantly running from here to there, right? Not wearing any clothes. But internally, he is having a lot of desires for some gratification. This is good to become a devotee like that. You internally cultivate the mood of renunciation. Externally, you act as a perfect gentleman. So, in spite of this, very soon, Lord Krishna will write some names of your deliverance. But this is how you should act. So, being inspired by that, Raghunath Das Goswami came out. And he started acting like a first-class Zamindar outside. He was dressing very nicely and he was managing his father's estate very professionally. Internally, he was constantly contemplating. Let's go back to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. How I can meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In this duration, a very wonderful event occurred. A very important event occurred. What happened is, because there is such great Zamindars, and you can imagine that there is rivalry, right? If your income is so high, you can imagine that there will be people who are envious of you. So there was a Turkish Chaudhary. So it was this Chaudhary's responsibility to collect all the taxes, keep 1/4 of it for himself, and then give the rest to the king. But because Govardhan Majumdar and Hiranyan Majumdar, they were so influential, they had set up an arrangement with the Shah, bypassing the Chaudhary. They would give the taxes directly to the Shah. And what they were doing is, the total income from Saptagram was 20 lakh gold coins. So, 1/4 they should be, 5 lakh they should be, and 15 lakh they should get. But instead they were taking 8 lakh and they were giving 12 lakh. Now this was obviously not going well with the Chaudhary, right? Why they are giving so much and I am not getting anything from them. So he instigated with the minister of the Nawab and the right, he tried to get them arrested. Now, getting clue of this, when they saw that the minister and Ravi are coming to arrest and Govardhan and Majumdar and Hiranyan Majumdar, they went into hiding. But Raghunath was there at home. So they arrested Raghunath, this 15-year-old boy, right? They arrested Raghunath. And that Chaudhary, he was so angry with him, right? Where is your father? Right? Where is your father? Where is your uncle? Right? Why? And he was so angry, he actually wanted to beat Raghunath. But you see, the nature of the devotee, the face of the devotee said, that you are something wants to get angry, they cannot get angry. And his face was so innocent. The Chaudhary wanted to beat him, but he could not beat him. So, Raghunath, he said, my dear Chacha, you and your father, they are just like brothers. And you know how it is between brothers. Sometimes brothers fight, sometimes brothers quarrel. But that is not taken very seriously. It's only a matter of time, both of you will be having your lives together. So, why are you quarreling like this? Just as I am son of my father, I am your son also. And this just touched the heart of the Chaudhary, right? And there is one thing I can tell you. If you tell this to any person, they cannot disagree. He said, "Aap to zinda peer ho, you are a living saint, you know all this very well." Immediately I agreed. Yes, I am a living saint. So there were tears in you are like us and travel villages, you right? Just talk to your parents, right? And just ask them, you know for something, right? Why are they thinking everything for us? That it was very necessary. Honest, he was acting like a first-class businessman. He could handle every situation that could come up. In his heart, he still wanted to go and be the Lord Chaitanya afterwards. You see, there can be so many impediments in our life, right? We want to execute pure devotional service. We have so many desires, right? But some of them, there can be so many impediments, right? We want to take initiation, we want to do this, we want to do that. Devotees have such nice inspiration, right? But because of their situations, because of their circumstances, they are unable to overcome these impediments. And here is the solution. What we can do in order to overcome impediments in our devotional service. What happened next is extremely instructive for all of us. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was at Puri and he instructed Nityananda Prabhu to go and preach in Bengal. He said, people are so fallen, people need deliverance. You go from door to door, from village to village and spread the Sankirtan movement. I cannot do this, but you can do this. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu requested Nityananda Prabhu to go everywhere and spread the chanting of Hare Krishna Sankirtan, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So Nityananda Prabhu, he took some of his closest associates and he left from Puri and he traveled northward towards Bengal. And while going, Nityananda Prabhu's mercy is so unlimited. Unimaginable how Nityananda Prabhu spread Krishna consciousness wherever he was going. First thing and most important thing that he was doing is doing Kirtan all the time. The party that Nityananda Prabhu led from Puri to Bengal, they were doing Kirtan all the time. And such extent Kirtan they were doing. Mostly they would not even understand what road they were traveling, how they were traveling. Only thing that they were doing is just keep on doing Kirtan. Krishna, 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 Hare Krishna, 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 Hare they would tell him, Nityananda Prabhu, you have missed the way to Bengal 6 hours before the day. So please go back 6 hours and now then you travel. Then they would travel for another day doing Kirtan and then they would ask, what is the route to Bengal? My dear sir, you left it 2 hours before. Please go back and then again you go back. Somehow or other, they reached Bengal and they reached this wonderful place called Panihati. Panihati. This is the place where a wonderful devotee of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu of the name Raghav Pandit used to live. Raghav Pandit, he was so deeply immersed in service to Krishna. See, just as Srila Raghunath Goswami, he is the personification, glorification of, he is the personification of an ideal renunciate, how an ideal renounced devotee should be. Raghav Pandit was personification of how a Vyasa should be. He had such first-class worship of Sri Radha Madan Mohan. That was his meaning. How he used to worship Sri Radha Madan Mohan. The best ingredients that he would find. He himself had a large estate. Literally hundreds and thousands of coconut plants he himself had. But still, whenever he would hear that some other place had such wonderful coconut plantations, he would send his servants 20 kilometers away, right, to get this best coconuts. He would clip those coconuts and every day he would offer 5-6 best quality coconuts for his deities. Everything, the cooking that he used to do, everything that he used to do, it was so meticulous. Highest standards of cleanliness, highest standards of the best quality ingredients he would get and he would offer to his deities And what kind of love she had for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. What kind of love he had for Sri Nityananda Prabhu. During his travels, right, whenever Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would go, right, whether to Sanyashala, to Navadi, he would pass through Panihati. And he would say that I love honoring the prasad that is cooked by Raghav Pandit and his sister Damayanti. In fact, when Raghav Pandit used to travel to Puri to meet Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they would carry bags containing loads and loads of prasad. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu throughout the year, see Krishna says, Patat Pushpa Phalat Yome Bhakti Prayasi. Tada Bhakti Upavrita Ashtami Prayasana. I eat the Bhakti, I eat the bhav of divine devotion that my devotees had. And Raghav Pandit cooked so wonderfully for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to relish eating the prasad cooked by Raghav Pandit. And when Nityananda Prabhu was starting, he now came to Manihati at the house of Raghav Pandit. And for 3 months, Nityananda Prabhu was doing kirtans continuous. It was a continuous kirtan at the house of Raghav Pandit. You cannot imagine. Nityananda Prabhu, when he is singing a class, when he is doing kirtan, you just glance over the devotees. Talk. They would develop love for Krishna and they would fall down in pure ecstasy, pure ecstatic love for Krishna. Nityananda Prabhu, when he would do kirtan, the children, they would go ecstatic, they would go mad in love of Krishna. In their ecstasy, in their enthusiasm, they would just uproot huge trees, completely uproot huge trees. There were devotees in their dance, they would not realize, they would climb trees and they would go to the last branch to get an एकदम छोटा सा branch. They would continue to do that dancing on that branch. And that branch would not break and those devotees would not fall. That was the beautiful influence of Nityananda Prabhu. These children, they would not go home. They would just do kirtan. That was the influence of Nityananda Prabhu. And when Ravinath Das Goswami heard, at that time he was not known as Ravinath Das Goswami, but as young Ravinath heard that Nityananda Prabhu is there, he had to go and he had to meet Nityananda Prabhu. So just imagine this beautiful scene. Panihati is on the banks of the Ganges. And there's a large banyan tree which is still standing today. And there is Nityananda Prabhu sitting with his closest associates. The associates who had traveled with him, leaving aside the association of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they had traveled with him to spread Krishna consciousness in Bengal. They were the ones sitting with Nityananda Prabhu. And so many other associates, and they were having wonderful Krishna Katha, they were having wonderful kirtan. And that is where Ravinath Das Goswami he comes in. From a distance, Ravinath Das Goswami dies really later, he was so tired. From a distance, he offered obeisances to Nityananda Prabhu. And one of the associates of Nityananda Prabhu, he told him, there is Ravinath, and he is offering obeisances to you. And when Nityananda Prabhu saw him, he said, Ravinath, you are a thief. You are offering obeisances from a distance. You are taking a message from a distance. You are a thief. Now you come here. Now I will be punished nicely. So Ravinath Das, he came and very nicely, Nityananda Prabhu, Hari Bol, he placed his lotus feet on the head of Srila Ravinath Das Goswami, completely blessing him. And he said, because you are a thief, I will give you punishment. Now you have to feed all my associates Chida and Dahi. Hari Bol. You see, what does it take to do a festival? What does it take to do a festival? Only thing it takes is enthusiasm of devotees. We saw the festival today. What does it take? Right? Devotees come together enthusiastically. Right? Some devotees will bring their details, some devotees will bring wonderful fruits and offerings, and some devotees, right, they will engage in so many wonderful services to prepare juices, and some devotees will offer, some devotees will sing, some devotees will participate together. So what does it take to do a festival? Right? All that it takes is enthusiasm of devotees. And just see, Nityananda Prabhu, right? What did he order? The simplest of things. What is Chida? Poha, right? Chida rice. Hari Bol, Shri Nityananda ki Jai! Shri Nityananda Gaurachandra ki Jai! Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Wherever there is glorification of Govinda appears. Practically. So, see, Chida, right? That is chip rice. Poha Vipana. Most dahi. What does it take to get dahi? Right? Immediately, Rabindranath Goswami, he was so happy because he had all the wealth of his father. His parents would be most happy when their wealth is utilized in this way. Immediately, he went into the market. Whatever cheap price was available, whatever chilla was available, whatever dahi was available, whatever sweets were available, whatever bananas were available, whatever milk was available, whatever pots were available, he took all of them. He purchased all of them. Immediately, right? He was traveling with the servants. Immediately, they made arrangements. They purchased. Hare Krishna. They purchased all the ingredients required and they brought all of them to this wonderful site. What does it take to do a picnic? Right? All of them were already on the bank of the Ganges. And in 7 or 8 very large pots, they immersed this chipped rice in boiled milk and then they divided it in 2 parts. So one part of chipped rice they soaked in dahi with various ingredients. I know many devotees are prepared, so they will know what to do. I don't know. And the other part they put in condensed milk. They had brought in condensed milk with sugar. They added sugar and they added camphor and they added bananas and they added what else? What else did they add? Anyone can tell? What else did they add? Yes? Mangoes. What else? Dry fruits. What else? Cake. What else? Okay. What all are there? Strawberries. Blueberries. What else? So wonderfully, right? They added all of these ingredients and all the devotees. Now the word quickly spread through whole of Paniati that a wonderful festival is being celebrated. So all the brahmanas of the area, so many Dhamma scholars, all of them came to the site of the festival, right? And so they were mixing this, right? And every person who came, they were given 2 pots, right? One was chida dahi with dahi, and the other one was chipped rice mixed with what all was that? Milk, condensed milk, fruits, camphor, what else? Okay, everything else that was there, right? So they were divided into these 2, and every person was given 2 pots, and so many people were coming. And seeing the enthusiasm of all the devotees, Rabindranath Goswami, he went to the neighboring villages because they had already purchased all the ingredients available in Paniati. They went to the neighboring villages. And from there they purchased bananas, milk, pots, what else? Chida, all these ingredients, rasgullas, sandesh, whatever, anything else. All these ingredients they purchased and they brought. And then, as the people in the neighboring villages got to know that a wonderful festival is happening, so people who are in villages, they came to the site of the festival. And when all the merchants, they understood that a wonderful festival is happening, they came there to sell all of their wares, all of their various items that they had. And Rabindranath Goswami, right, he just purchased all of this. He had, and every devotee, right, he was getting 2 pots. And see the number of devotees, they were so large that initially it was Nityananda Prabhu surrounded by his closest associates. Then so many other brahmanas, Vaishnavas came and they sat around. So then they occupied everything, all the place on the banks of the Ganges. And then they started occupying nearby places. And there was no place. So they started sitting in the waters of the Ganges. And they were honoring this. And such a lovely, wonderful festival was being celebrated. And whenever such a lovely, very wonderful festival is being celebrated, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu cannot resist. He has to make his appearance. Just as we are celebrating this wonderful festival and Nita Gopakshadra have appeared. So, unseen by most people, but seen by his closest associates, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared over there. And Nityananda Prabhu was so happy to receive, right? He took Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by the hand and Nityananda Prabhu with his own hands, he was feeding Chaitanya Mahaprabhu chida dahi. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with his own hands, he was feeding Nityananda chida dahi. And such a wonderful festivity was going on and all the devotees, they were relishing chida dahi while constantly chanting the holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. And then Rama Pandit, he came there to invite Nityananda Prabhu. Prashadam is ready. And when they saw that such a wonderful festival is happening, he also joined the festivities. So they gave him also 2 pots. And all the people who came with Rama Pandit, they came, and Rama Pandit, all the preparations that he had made, he brought all of those preparations also. Right? And he served that also to all the devotees and Nityananda Prabhu. And such wonderful festivity was going on. all the duties. They were so completely satisfied. And the Mahaprasad of Nityananda Prabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, Nityananda Prabhu gave it to Raghunath Das Goswami, and Raghunath Das Goswami got it. Then in the evening, wonderful kirtans at the home of Raghav Pandit. This is how wonderfully this festival was celebrated. Next day, Raghunath Das Goswami, he fell at the feet of Nityananda Prabhu. I just want to join Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I just want to be with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I just want to focus completely. I cannot live like this. I cannot live a life like this. I just want to be with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Nityananda Prabhu said, don't worry. Because you served the devotees so nicely yesterday, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself came to the festival and he participated in the festivities, and he himself is so satisfied with your devotional service. All of the impediments on your path will now be vanquished, and very soon you will be with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Hari Bol! So what is the secret of success in devotional service? Who can tell? What is the secret of success in devotional service? Hari Bol! In order to get mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you should first seek the mercy of Lord Nityananda Prabhu. And in order to get the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, you should first serve the devotees of Sri Sri Gaur Nitai. Hari Bol! Raghunath Das Goswami did it, and all the impediments from his devotional service, they were removed. With a very happy state of mind, he went back to Saptagram, to his palace. And since that time, he was just waiting. He knew, now it's only a matter of time. I'm going to be with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. See, till this time, he was constantly under guards. Guards were constantly with him. But now, with all the confidence that he had, he was acting like a zamindar. Right? Now, one day what happened is, Yadunandan Acharya, he came. Late at night, he came to Raghunath, and he said, you know, one of my disciples, the Pujari, right, he is not doing his service. He has stopped doing his seva to the deities, and you please preach to him. You can convince him to get back into his service. And it is so important, right? You should do it. So Raghunath immediately said, yes, let me go and speak with him. Right? And he was showing his zamindari to us. Dekha hu kaise nahi karta, whatever, right? So everyone was so satisfied. Yes, now he is pakka, right? He is a pakka zamindar. So the guards didn't go with him. And it was Yadunandan Acharya and Raghunath who were walking towards the home of the priest. And Raghunath said, this is such a small matter, I can handle it so easily. Gurudev, you please go, you take rest, it's already late at night. So he said, yes, why not, right? So Yadunandan Acharya also left. And Raghunath Das Goswami knew, this is my moment. Immediately, he ran from that place. He's running. He knew. See, at that time, the devotees from Bengal had already started going towards Puri because every day they would travel to Puri. Every year they would travel to Puri to participate in the Rath Yatra, be with Mahaprabhu. And they were already traveling, and Raghunath Das Goswami knew that if he went and joined them, it's only a matter of moments that his father will find out and he will bring him back. So, traveling through forest, traveling through very untraveled areas, Raghunath Das Goswami, he just kept walking, running through forest, through mud, through all these areas. In the first day, he covered 30 kilometers. He was so exhausted. He just collapsed at the cowshed. And the cowherd man gave him milk and all. Taking some rest, he continued on his journey, but he did not take the main roads. Through very desolate areas. In 12 days, he completed the journey from Saptagram to Puri. And in these 12 days, he had eaten only 3 times. In the meanwhile, Raghunath Das's parents, as soon as they saw that Raghunath was missing, immediately they sent their guards and soldiers. And the first party that they checked with was Shivananda Sen, who was leading the devotees to Bengal. And they asked, is Raghunath with you? Shivananda said knew. They are such influential people. He said, I don't even know vegetable of the name Raghunath. There is no one with me. So, right? And so Raghunath Das Goswami, he came to Puri, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he received him so nicely. From a distance, again, the Raghunath Das Goswami, he offered obeisances to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu just brought him close to him. He embraced him, and close to him, he offered his obeisances. And he handed over the hand of Raghunath into the hands of Swarup Damodar Goswami. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's personal secretary, most exalted devotee, Swarup Damodar Goswami. He handed over Raghunath Das Goswami to his hands. Since that day, Raghunath is known as Swarupe Raghu. And since that day, Raghunath Das Goswami, he went on increasing his level of renunciation, absorbing himself more and more in the constants of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And after that, he came to Vrindavan, to Radhakund, where he spent the rest of his life. It has become an inspiration for all of us. Today's festival is so important, so wonderful, because it's such a wonderful festival and we learn so many important lessons from the life. So, with that, we'll stop. I think kids are ready with some performance, and such wonderful lessons. Again, to recap, the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes when one gets the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, and that we get from serving the Vaishnavas, and it is so easy to celebrate a festival. Hari Bol. Srila Raghunath Das Goswami ki Jai. Shri Gaur Nitai ki Jai. Srila Dahi Mahamahotsav ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Do any devotees have any questions? Does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, I have.
Yes, Prabhu.
My question is, suppose you receive an instruction from your Guru Maharaj, and you're clear about doing it, you clarify, but then let's say, shall we say, you have some skepticism of, leaving one part of your life and actually committing to that instruction. What should one do? Like, should one act practically or just go ahead and just kind of do it?
No, the simplest thing that I can say is seek clarification. Seek clarification. See,